Here's a well-developed version of your passage with a natural American English tone, keeping cultural context in mind. How to handle being provoked without losing your cool. Let's be real, people will test your patience. Whether it's a rude comment, an unfair accusation, or just someone trying to push your buttons, staying composed in those moments is tough. But here's the deal. The way you react says more about you than about them. If you let anger take over, you give them power. If you stay in control, you win. First, pause before reacting. When emotions run high, your first instinct might be to snap back. But a deep breath can make all the difference. It buys you time to think, is this worth my energy? Most of the time, the answer is no. Next, consider their intent. Are they genuinely being hurtful, or are they just having a bad day? Maybe they don't even realize how they sound. Instead of jumping to conclusions, ask for clarification. A simple, "What do you mean by that?" can turn a confrontation into a conversation. And here's the golden rule: don't feed the fire. If someone's looking for a reaction, don't give it to them. Silence or a calm response can be more powerful than any argument. At the end of the day, keeping your peace is more valuable than proving a point. So next time someone tries to get under your skin, remember, their behavior is on them, your reaction is on you. Stay cool. You got this. Stay calm. Don't react immediately. Let's be honest, staying calm when someone provokes you isn't easy. Your natural instinct might be to fire back, defend yourself, or even escalate the situation. But here's the thing, your first reaction is usually not your best reaction. That's why pausing, even for just a few seconds, can change everything. The moment you feel that surge of frustration, take a deep breath. It sounds simple, but it works. A deep breath sends a message to your brain: relax. You're in control. It gives you a second to think before you speak, so you don't end up saying something you'll regret later. Now, imagine someone throws a rude comment your way. Instead of snapping back, what if you just paused? That moment of silence isn't weakness, it's power. It gives you time to assess the situation, decide if it's worth your energy, and respond in a way that keeps your dignity intact. And here's the best part: when you stay calm, you stay in control. You don't let someone else dictate your emotions. People who try to provoke you want a reaction, don't give them the satisfaction. So next time someone tests your patience, remember, you're not just reacting, you're choosing how to respond. And that's a skill that will serve you for life. Read the room. Are they really out to get you? All right, before you let anger take over, ask yourself, what's really going on here? Is this person actually trying to hurt you, or is it just a misunderstanding? Because, let's be real sometimes, we take things personally when they weren't meant that way at all. Picture this. A friend makes a sarcastic joke, but you're in a bad mood, so it rubs you the wrong way. Or maybe a coworker gives you blunt feedback, and you assume they're out to embarrass you. But is that really the case? If you take a step back, you might realize they didn't mean harm. Jumping to conclusions only adds unnecessary stress. Now, on the flip side, what if they are trying to provoke you? Maybe they want to see you lose your cool. Maybe they enjoy stirring up drama. If that's the case, the worst thing you can do is give them what they want. When you react emotionally, you're playing right into their hands. But if you stay calm, that throws them off completely. So next time someone gets under your skin, pause and ask yourself, is this a real attack or just noise? If it's just a misunderstanding, let it go. If it's intentional, don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you break. Stay in control because that's real power. Your body language speaks louder than words. Ever notice how some people can de-escalate a situation just by the way they carry themselves? It's not magic, it's body language. The way you hold yourself, the expressions on your face, even the tone of your voice, all of it sends a message. And when emotions are running high, those nonverbal cues matter more than the words you actually say. Think about it. If someone challenges you and you respond by crossing your arms, rolling your eyes, or clenching your jaw, what message are you sending? That you're defensive? That you're ready to fight? Whether you mean to or not, your body is already fueling the tension. That's why staying open, relaxed, and composed is key, because it helps you stay in control of the situation instead of letting it spiral. And let's talk about tone. You don't have to raise your voice to make an impact. In fact, the calmer you speak, the more powerful you sound. Ever notice how the most respected people in a room don't shout to be heard? They stay steady, clear, and confident. That's what keeps people listening. So the next time someone tries to get under your skin, check yourself. Relax your shoulders, keep your voice even, and show through your body language that you're not easily rattled. Because real strength isn't about being the loudest, it's about staying in control. Ask before you assume, the power of clarification. You ever been in a conversation where someone says something that just doesn't sit right? Maybe it sounds rude, disrespectful, or even like a straight-up insult. Your first instinct? Probably to fire back. But here's the thing before you assume the worst. Take a second to clarify. Instead of reacting on impulse, try something like, "Hey, can you clarify what you mean by that? Just to be sure I understand. Are you saying?" This does two things. First, it forces them to slow down and really think about what they just said. A lot of times, people don't even realize how their words are coming across until you call attention to it. Second, it gives you a chance to assess whether they meant harm or if it's just a misunderstanding. And let's be honest, misunderstandings happen all the time. Maybe they worded something poorly. Maybe they have a different sense of humor. Or maybe their tone just didn't match their intention. Either way, asking instead of assuming can save you from unnecessary conflict. But if they did mean it as a dig, now you know for sure. And instead of reacting emotionally, you can decide how to handle it on your terms. Because the smartest people in the room aren't the ones who react the fastest. They're the ones who take a moment to think before they respond. Don't let emotions control your actions. Let's be real, when someone says or does something that pushes your buttons, your first instinct is to react. Maybe you want to clap back with a sharp remark, prove a point, or just let them know they crossed a line. But here's the thing, reacting emotionally rarely works in your favor. Think about it. How many times have you said something in the heat of the moment and regretted it later? When emotions take over, logic takes a back seat. That's why the smartest move you can make is to hit pause. Ask yourself, is this really worth my energy? Will this matter in an hour, a day, or a week? If the answer is no, let it go. Now, letting go doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're in control. Because, let's be honest, some people just want a reaction out of you. They thrive on drama. When you refuse to engage, you take away their power. Nothing frustrates a troublemaker more than someone who won't take the bait. And if things start escalating, walk away. Changing the subject or simply removing yourself from the situation isn't avoiding conflict. It's protecting your peace. At the end of the day, your energy is valuable. Don't waste it on things that don't deserve it. Stay calm, stay in control, and choose your battles wisely. The power of silence. Sometimes saying nothing says everything. You ever notice how some people love to stir up drama? They'll say something rude, throw in a passive-aggressive comment, or just try to push your buttons waiting for you to react. And when you do, boom, that's exactly what they wanted. But here's the secret. You don't have to play their game. In fact, sometimes the best response is no response at all. Silence isn't weakness, it's control. When someone's trying to provoke you, your silence does two things. First, it throws them off. They expect you to snap back, to defend yourself, to get emotional. But when you don't, they're left standing there, confused, unsure of what to do next. Second, silence shifts the power dynamic. When you refuse to engage, you stay in control of the situation and, more importantly, your own emotions. You're showing that their words or actions don't dictate your response. And that's power. Now, silence doesn't mean ignoring every situation, but it does mean choosing where to invest your energy. Not every battle is worth fighting. So, next time someone tries to bait you into an argument, try this. Take a deep breath, say nothing, and watch how quickly they lose control of the situation. Because sometimes the loudest response is no response at all. Seeing the bigger picture, understanding before reacting. Ever had someone snap at you for no reason? Maybe a coworker was short with you, or a friend made a sarcastic comment that stung. Your first thought might be, what's their problem? But here's the thing, sometimes it's not about you at all. People don't act out of nowhere. Maybe they're stressed, dealing with personal struggles, or just having a rough day. We've all been there, right? You're overwhelmed, frustrated, or exhausted, and suddenly the smallest thing sets you off. If we expect others to give us grace in those moments, shouldn't we do the same for them? Now, this doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. But before you react, pause and ask yourself, is this really about me, or is there something deeper going on? Instead of firing back, try empathy. A simple, hey, everything okay? Can shift the entire mood. And here's the wild part. When you approach people with understanding instead of defensiveness, they're more likely to calm down too. Nobody expects kindness when they're being difficult. And sometimes that unexpected patience is all it takes to defuse a tense moment. So next time someone's attitude rubs you the wrong way, try seeing beyond the surface. Because a little understanding can go a long way, not just for them. Seeing the bigger picture, understanding before reacting. Ever had someone snap at you for no reason? Maybe a coworker was short with you, or a friend made a sarcastic comment that stung. Your first thought might be, what's their problem? But here's the thing, sometimes it's not about you at all. People don't act out of nowhere. Maybe they're stressed, dealing with personal struggles, or just having a rough day. We've all been there, right? You're overwhelmed, frustrated, or exhausted, and suddenly the smallest thing sets you off. If we expect others to give us grace in those moments, shouldn't we do the same for them? Now, this doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. But before you react, pause and ask yourself, is this really about me, Or is there something deeper going on? Instead of firing back, try empathy. A simple, "Hey, everything okay?" can shift the entire mood. And here's the wild part: when you approach people with understanding instead of defensiveness, they're more likely to calm down too. Nobody expects kindness when they're being difficult, and sometimes that unexpected patience is all it takes to defuse a tense moment. So next time someone's attitude rubs you the wrong way, try seeing beyond the surface. Because a little understanding can go a long way, not just for them, but for your own peace of mind. Pick your battles. Is it really worth it? Let's be honest, life throws a lot at you. People will say things that annoy you. Situations won't go your way. And sometimes it's tempting to react to every little thing. But here's the truth: not everything deserves your energy. Before you let frustration take over, ask yourself, is this really worth my time? Will this matter in a day, a week, or a year? If the answer is no, why let it take up space in your mind? Think about it. How often do small annoyances ruin an entire day? Maybe someone cut you off in traffic, a coworker made a snide remark, or a stranger was rude to you in line. In the moment, it feels personal. But in reality, it's just a tiny moment in your life. Dwelling on it only gives it more power than it deserves. That doesn't mean you ignore important issues. It just means you choose your battles wisely. If something isn't adding value to your life, why waste energy on it? Instead, redirect your focus. Spend that energy on things that actually make you better: your goals, your relationships, your peace of mind. Next time something irritates you, pause and ask, does this really matter? If not, let it go. Because protecting your energy isn't just smart, it's essential for a happy life. Knowing when to walk away, protect your peace. You ever been in a conversation that's just going nowhere? Maybe someone's being stubborn, argumentative, or just flat out toxic. And no matter what you say, it feels like you're talking to a brick wall. That's when you have to ask yourself, is this even worth my time? Here's the truth: not every argument needs a winner. Not every opinion needs a response. And sometimes, the smartest, most powerful thing you can do is walk away. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're choosing your battles wisely. You have the right to decide what's worth your energy and what's not. If a conversation is draining you, stressing you out, or leading nowhere productive, why stay in it? You don't have to prove yourself to everyone. You don't have to fix every misunderstanding. Think about it. Have you ever looked back at an argument and realized it was a total waste of time? That's because some people just want to argue, not understand. And engaging with them? That's a trap. The more you feed into negativity, the more it pulls you in. So next time you feel that frustration creeping up, ask yourself, do I really need to be in this conversation? If the answer is no, walk away and take your peace with you. Because at the end of the day, your mental energy is too valuable to waste. Learn from it, turning anger into growth. Ever had one of those moments where you look back and think, man, I could have handled that better? It happens to all of us. When emotions run high, we don't always make the best choices. But here's the key: learning from it, so you don't make the same mistake twice. After you've calmed down, take a step back and ask yourself, what triggered me? Why did I react that way? Was my response helpful or just emotional? Be honest with yourself. It's not about beating yourself up. It's about recognizing patterns and figuring out how to improve. Maybe you snapped at someone when a simple, calm response would have diffused the situation. Maybe you let someone's rude comment ruin your whole day when you could have brushed it off. Or maybe you engaged in an argument that, looking back, wasn't even worth it. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. The best way to handle conflict better in the future is to learn from the past. The more self-aware you become, the more control you have over your reactions. And that's real growth. So next time you find yourself in a heated moment, remember, this is a chance to learn, to grow, and to handle things smarter next time. Because being wise isn't about never getting upset. It's about knowing how to bounce back better. Learn from it, turning anger into growth. We've all been there. You're in the heat of the moment. Someone says something that hits a nerve, and before you know it, you've reacted in a way you wish you hadn't. Maybe you raised your voice, said something you didn't mean, or let frustration take over. And after it's all said and done, you start replaying the moment in your head, thinking about all the different ways you could have handled it better. That's normal. The key isn't to beat yourself up over it. It's to learn from it so you can handle it smarter next time. So how do you actually turn anger into growth? The first step is reflection. Once the emotions settle, take a step back and ask yourself some tough but important questions. What exactly triggered you? Was it the words themselves or the way they were said? Did you react based on logic or emotion? Did your response actually solve anything, or did it just escalate the situation? The more honest you are with yourself, the better you can understand your own patterns. The second step is adjusting your approach. If you realize that certain situations or people always seem to get a reaction out of you, that's something to take note of. Maybe you need to set better boundaries. Maybe you need to take a pause before responding. Or maybe you need to remind yourself that some things just aren't worth your energy. Growth doesn't mean you never get upset. It means you get better at choosing when and how to respond. And here's something to remember. Walking away is not losing. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is choose not to engage. People who want to provoke you are looking for a reaction. If you give them nothing, you take away their power. But if you do need to respond, do it from a place of control, not emotion. When you stay calm, you maintain the upper hand. The final step is moving forward with intention. Once you recognize how you want to handle things differently, put it into practice. The next time you feel that frustration bubbling up, remind yourself of what you learned. Take a deep breath. Choose your words carefully. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week? A month? A year? The more you practice, the better you'll get at handling tough situations with wisdom instead of emotion. At the end of the day, growth is about progress, not perfection. Nobody gets it right all the time. But every time you choose to pause instead of react, every time you reflect instead of regret, every time you learn instead of lash out, you're getting stronger. So next time you're faced with a difficult moment, challenge yourself. Instead of reacting impulsively, take control. Learn from it. And handle it better than you did the last time. Because true strength isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about being the one who knows when to speak, when to listen, and when to simply walk away. Have you ever looked back at a situation and realized you could have handled it differently? What's one lesson you've learned about controlling your reactions? Let's talk about it.